Why buy a motorcycle for $10,000 when you can get something that looks the same and rides just as well for half the price? Some of the best motorcycles on the market are secretly clones of their expensive counterparts, offering the same stylish design, performance, and tech, but without that steep price tag. If you're looking to save big while still getting a premium experience, these 10 bikes are exactly what you need. 10. Yamax 400. If you park the Yamax 400 next to a Kawasaki Z1000 and squinted just a little, you'd probably do a double take. The tank shape, the stubby exhaust, even the aggressive split headlight, it's all very familiar. But unlike the Z1000's 1043cc inline-4 that cranks out over 140 horsepower, the Yamax plays it cool with a 400cc twin-cylinder engine, tuned more for daily usability than outright speed. This thing won't break any land speed records, but it'll cruise comfortably at highway speeds, and its top speed of around 96 miles per hour is enough for casual fun. It even comes with disc brakes, front and rear, LED lighting, and a digital dash. Not bad for something that's just $3,800 brand new. Now compare that to the Kawasaki Z1000, which starts at around $12,000. That's an $8,000 difference just to flex the real badge. So if your goal is to look at the part without going broke, the Yamax 400 is hard to beat for budget-conscious riders who still want to turn heads. 9. Sigma Thunder 250. The Sigma Thunder 250 looks uncannily close to the Yamaha YZF R25, right down to the sculpted tank, twin headlamp fairing, and aggressive fairings. At a glance, it passes for a Yamaha, but under the skin, it's got its own story. Powering the Thunder is a 250cc water-cooled twin, backed up by a 6-speed gearbox, digital instrument panel, and surprisingly, dual front disc brakes, a feature even the real R25 doesn't always come with. On the street, that setup translates to decent acceleration, responsive braking, and enough speed to make everyday riding feel lively. The price? Around $3,500, depending on the market. Meanwhile, a Yamaha R25 will set you back $5,300 or more, depending on where you are. That's nearly $2,000 saved, and you still get the sporty look, low-slung riding position, and enough presence to turn heads at a stoplight. 8. Leike Thunderer. Okay, let's not pretend this isn't a straight-up clone. The Leike Thunderer is a bold attempt to copy the legendary BMW S1000RR, and visually, it's actually pretty convincing. Same fairing lines, same pointy nose, and even the signature S1000RR style rear tail section. If looks could win races, this would be on the podium. But under all that swagger is a much humbler 320cc parallel twin engine, capable of modest thrills, but nothing like the 999cc inline-4 on the real S1000RR. The BMW puts out around 205 horsepower and cost a jaw-dropping $18,000. The Leike? It makes around 22 horsepower, and the price hovers around $3,000. That's a $15,000 difference. $15,000 that could go toward gear, trips, or even a second bike. Of course, you're not getting German engineering or a track-ready machine, but the Thunderer isn't about performance, it's about image. For younger riders or those in countries where import costs make superbikes unattainable, this clone gives a taste of the dream without the six-figure debt. 7. Benelli 752S. Not all clones are shameless copies. Some play the long game. The Benelli 752S is a perfect example, a bike that channels the spirit of the Ducati monster but adds its own flavor and undercuts the price just enough to tempt serious riders. The 752S is powered by a 754cc parallel twin engine, delivering 76 horsepower and 49 pound-feet of torque. It's got inverted Marzocchi forks, Brembo brakes, a 6-speed transmission, and a curb weight of around 485 pounds. It doesn't just look premium, it actually feels like it belongs in the same league as pricier Euro Nakeds. Price-wise, the Benelli comes in around $7,000, whereas the Ducati Monster 937 starts at a whopping $12,000. That's a solid $5,000 in savings, and you still get an Italian-designed machine with enough power to thrill experienced riders. 6. Zontes R310. At a glance, the Zontes R310 looks like it belongs in a premium showroom. With sharp lines, LED lighting, and a compact, aggressive stance, you'd be forgiven for mistaking it for something like the BMW G310R, and you'd be half right. Both bikes share a similar displacement and styling direction, but what's surprising is how the Zontes manages to bring more features to the table at a lower price. You're getting a 312cc liquid-cooled single-cylinder engine that delivers 35 horsepower and 30 Nm of torque, just a hair more than the BMW. But here's where it gets interesting. The Zontes comes with keyless ignition, a full-color TFT dash, and even backlit switchgear. Try finding all that in the G310R. The price difference makes things even more one-sided. While the Zontes R310 comes in at around $4,500, the BMW G310R will cost you closer to $5,500. That's a $1,000 gap for a bike that arguably gives you more, not less. 5. CFMoto 650 NK. Middleweight naked bikes are usually dominated by names like Kawasaki, but CFMoto decided to jump into the ring, and they bought a serious challenger with a 650 NK. Styled with aggressive lines and a stance that would look right at home next to the Kawasaki Z650, the 650 NK does more than just look the part. This machine is powered by a 649cc parallel twin engine that makes 91 horsepower and 56 Nm of torque, putting it neck and neck with the Z650 in terms of real-world performance. The ride is surprisingly smooth, the ergonomics are commuter-friendly, and the handling feels confident without being twitchy. Even better, it comes standard with ABS, LED lighting, and a clean digital dash, all wrapped up in a design that looks anything but cheap. But the biggest jaw-dropper is the price. The CFMoto 650 NK sells for about $6,000, while the Kawasaki Z650 will set you back around $7,500. That's $1,500 saved without giving up much, if anything at all. And with CFMoto working closely with KTM in engine development, it's not just some random off-brand anymore. It's the real deal for riders who want performance and value in one stylish package. 4. Lexmoto LXR 380. If you love the look of full-fairing sport bikes but hate the price tag that usually comes with them, the Lexmoto LXR 380 might just be your dream come true. With a sharp race-inspired design and aggressive bodywork, this thing looks like it's ready to tear up a track. But the real surprise is how much performance you get for so little cash. Under the fairings, the LXR 380 is powered by a 378cc parallel twin that makes 40 horsepower and 35 Nm of torque. That puts it squarely in the same ballpark as the Yamaha R3, and yet the Lexmoto comes in at just about $5,000. The R3? It's roughly $5,500. Sure, that might not sound like a huge difference, but when you're getting dual front disc brakes, LED lighting, and a digital display as part of the package, it starts to feel like the Lexmoto is punching above its weight. 3. Benelli 302S. The Benelli 302S is a true eye-catcher in the world of naked bikes, and while it may not carry the Ducati nameplate, it certainly shares the same stylish DNA. With its sleek angular design, sharp lines, and an unmistakable trellis frame, the 302S has the kind of aesthetic that might have you thinking it's straight out of Italy. Powered by a 300cc parallel twin engine, the 302S churns out 38 horsepower and 25.6 Nm of torque, delivering solid performance whether you're zipping through city traffic or cruising along twisty roads. But where it gets interesting is the value proposition. The 302S comes loaded with premium features like a full-color TFT display, LED lighting, and dual-channel ABS. These aren't typically found on bikes in this price range, making it stand out even more. When it comes to pricing, the Benelli 302S is a steal at just about $4,300. Compare that to the Ducati Monster 797, which will set you back around $9,300, and it's clear that the 302S offers similar Italian-inspired vibes but without the sky-high price tag. 2. CFMoto 300 SR. For anyone who has dreamt of owning a track-ready sport bike without the hefty price tag, the CFMoto 300 SR is a game-changer. With its aggressive aerodynamic bodywork and vibrant graphics, this fully fared sports bike stands out in the entry-level segment. It takes the best elements of sport bike design and blends them into a bike that's both stylish and practical. The 300 SR is powered by a 292.4cc single-cylinder engine that puts out 27.4 horsepower and 25.3 Nm of torque. While it may not boast the raw power of larger bikes, the 300 SR delivers a thrilling, responsive ride that's perfect for weekend twisties or city commuting. On top of that, it's packed with modern tech like a full-color TFT display and dual-channel ABS, plus 2 riding modes to suit your preferences, sport or eco. At just around $4,000, it undercuts the Kawasaki Ninja 300, which is priced around $5,000 by a significant margin. And yet, you're still getting a bike that's full of features and capable of holding its own against its more expensive counterparts. 1. Zontes T310. Adventure touring bikes are often thought of as pricey, high-end machines, but the Zontes T310 is here to prove that you can have rugged capability and premium features without that hefty price tag. Its bold, aggressive styling is clearly inspired by bikes like the BMW G310 GS, giving it a commanding presence on and off the road. Under the hood, the T310 is powered by a 312cc single-cylinder engine that produces 35 horsepower and 30 Nm of torque. It's an engine that strikes the perfect balance between power and efficiency, ideal for both city commutes and weekend off-road excursions. But what sets the T310 apart is the level of technology you get for the price. It comes with keyless ignition, a full-color TFT display, LED lighting, and dual-channel ABS, all features typically found on much more expensive adventure bikes. At just around $4,800, the T310 offers incredible value compared to the BMW G310 series, which costs closer to $5,700. For a $1,000 difference, you're getting a bike that competes on every front: style, performance, and tech. Whether you're hitting the trails or cruising around town, the Zontes T310 proves you don't need to break the bank to enjoy the adventure touring experience. From what we've seen so far, it's clear that even though a bike is a copy, it doesn't mean it's worse than the original. So don't bother yourself saving thousands of dollars for a bike you can get for half or even a third of the price of the original. Do you think any of these clones are better than the original? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for more motorcycle videos.